Top Gun Maverick. This is a spoiler review. I do have a review up on my blog, soundedbettermyhead.com. Tried to keep all the spoilers out of there. I just tried to keep it pretty simple. Not that there's a ton of spoilers for this movie. I just want to give anything away in the other review. I ended up giving this one a 3 out of 5. I think I'm in the minority by not gushing about this movie like a lot of people are. I just thought it was okay. It's been a long time since I've seen the original Top Gun. I really vaguely remember it. I had to go on Wikipedia and read a recap before seeing the new movie, and it honestly didn't really help me out that much. I think I actually did remember enough of the key points. The movie gets off to a fairly slow start, just kind of reintroducing you to Maverick and what he's kind of up to, and kind of a random shot at the beginning where there's like an aircraft carrier and some jets, and they play Danger Zone, just kind of a nostalgia, hitting over your head kind of maneuver. I don't know, nothing special. Just I guess they're trying to set you in the mood. You pretty quickly jump into what the main mission is supposed to be. I mean, Maverick actually immediately is like, okay, this is what we got to do. This is how we do it, and we can save the day. And then it just becomes a matter of putting the team together. We get introduced to the character of Penny, who essentially is a stand-in for the love interest for the last Maverick. I mean, these two have a history. They used to date, and they just didn't feel like bringing him back. I can't think of the actress from the first one. To be honest, I think because she looks way older than Tom Cruise now, and this is the way Hollywood is. You got to find a girl that's a little bit older but still hot for the lead star. Not that Jennifer Connelly did a bad job; she was fine in the role. It kind of felt like they were substituting one character for the other instead of him meeting a new girl and starting something new. Which that'd be a whole other story too, trying to start a whole new relationship. But then we introduce the rest of the cast, and it's a pretty cookie cutter crew. I mean, apparently a bunch of models got together and said, hey, let's be pilots, and they all end up being like some of the best in the world, because like every of these Top Gun pilots, one of these Top Gun pilots is just models pretty much. Like super built, good looking, one hot girl, a bunch of studs. None of them really have too much personality. Most of them seem pretty interchangeable. It's hot black guy pilot number 1, hot black guy pilot number 2, hot white guy pilot number 1, hot girl pilot, just whatever. They didn't really stand out from the crowd. I mean, a little bit as the film went on, but really only a couple. The Hangman character, who was just a douchey, kind of over the top cocky guy, almost too cocky. Like this guy. It's implied this guy just leaves everybody out to hangs everybody out to dry. Like I don't know what kind of team player he's supposed to be. Like how far do you get in the Navy with that attitude? And then you had the nerd, the good-looking nerd Bob, but the other important character was Rooster, who is Goose's son from the first film. And it's kind of cheesy. They had to give him a mustache like his dad had, just so the audience goes, oh yeah, it is Goose's kid. But I don't know. Anyways, they set up this animosity between a lot of the characters, and it pretty quickly gets over. Be honest, one game of half-ass football on the beach, and everybody's pretty close to being buddy. There's still the animosity between Goose and Maverick, but once they go to the main mission, they get squashed pretty quickly. So I don't know, just whatever tension it was gets taken away shockingly fast. As most of it's just this training montage. You got a lot of dogfight stuff in the beginning, and it's really hard to tell who's who, because all the planes look the same from the outside. So it's like one plane's flying, another plane gets behind it. They try to quickly cut to the cockpit so you see who the pilot is, but it's still real disorienting. It gets a little bit better late in the film when they're getting shot at by missiles. At least they're all good guy planes. But I don't know. I just thought that part was just too hard to follow. It was nice to see Kilmer back. I know he really wanted to come back. I know he had his real life throat cancer, I believe, and I don't think he could talk at all. So I don't know if him whispering in the movie was legit or did they do something. Kind of weird that they just offed this character pretty quickly, but I guess the movie needed a funeral, which is weird because on one end, I thought it would be too much like the first movie of one of the cadets or whatever, not cadets, but one of the other pilots dies, but at the other end, you almost kind of needed that gut punch to like go into the final act of the movie. And they tried to do that with Iceman, but since he really didn't have any connection to the team, it just didn't feel as impactful to anybody besides Maverick. That rolls into basically the finale, which is, the finale is well done. They tell you exactly what needs to be done. They show you how hard it is. So when you're in, it's really intense. You're from these planes. It's like, okay, this is really tricky. You know what the stakes are. It's very Star Wars trench run. I mean, they're literally going through like a canyon, this bullseye, a little tiny spot, and literally a guy can't trust the computer, and he has to shoot like blindly, and he blows it up. He just didn't use the force. And then yeah, there's a dogfight, and that gets a little less Star Wars. But anyways, I don't know. Just you have the fake out with Maverick dying, and then this whole little extended sequence where he gets saved by Rooster, and then he gets. They do a quick fake out like he might have died, and then they're both doing this whole side thing, which was fine. I know it's about their two characters coming to terms with each other, but it just seemed kind of tacked on. It just seemed a little bit more over the top Hollywood than the traditional, fighter pilot movie we just got. And then of course, they get out of there and they get saved at the last minute, almost Han Solo style. It was almost comical how over the top they went with not letting us know who the bad guy was. It's like, oh yeah, there's this enemy base. These guys got these super advanced planes, and they got this and they got that, and they're enriching uranium. But they intentionally do not say who the enemy is. It's not like we're going to Russia, we're not fighting the North Koreans. Like they don't say, and it's almost comical that the military doesn't tell you like, oh yeah, this is the country we're about to invade. It's a little cheesy. I mean, even the pilots on the plane, they got black helmets on. You can't see their face. All the enemy fighter jets. I'm on the fence about some of the callbacks because one end it feels like it's too much fan service, but I guess you kind of want that. Like I said at the beginning with the Danger Zone, there's a point where they're doing Great Balls of Fire. They're singing at the bar like they did in the first film. Just a lot of the shots of Maverick on his motorcycle with the girl on the back, his very first film. I did get the nice little callback when he does jump in the F-14 at the end. Just remember how iconic that plane was in the 80s. When Top Gun came out, like that was the plane. That was like, you had your X-Wings for space stuff, then you had your F-14s in the real life. And it was kind of nice seeing that plane again. And then it just, kind of wraps up. There's a few kind of like little nitpicks, like you got all those pictures on the wall, like, Maverick and Iceman from the first film, or like stuff from this film with Rooster and Maverick. It's like who was taking these pictures that they have posted? Like it seemed like who in the rear, at least now in the aircraft carrier, somebody would have a camera phone, I would guess. But like back in Iceman's day, like someone ran out the deck and got a good picture of Maverick and Iceman, and then they put it up on something. I mean, it's clearly just a still from the film, but that's a nitpick. But other than that, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of people loved it. I thought it was a little slow. I really didn't care about most of the characters. I thought the climax was really intense. I was really into it. Thought it went a little too long, got a little too Hollywood. But at least you got that led to the better character catharsis because some of the other stuff got squashed too easy. And that's about all I got. Like I said, I have the other version of this review up on soundonbettermyhead.com. I have some other reviews on there. I have comic strips on there. Actually, if anyone's paying attention or anyone cares, I am 4 episodes into the new season of Stranger Things, so I hope to have that up within the next few days. Other than that, thanks for watching.